Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I'm going to be talking about this massive controversy that everybody on YouTube, especially every gaming journalist, is talking about, and that is the new PS5 Pro. So they just announced like what it is, its price. Um, they had some 9-minute like presentation. We already knew about the PS5 Pro for a long time. They did the same thing with the PS4. They came out with the PS4 Pro. And I may have made a video about this, but the PS4 Pro irritated me. I don't think console refreshes are a good idea. That being said, I have some mixed feelings about this. I haven't seen one positive video or take on the PS5 Pro. Everybody's just dogging on it. And I guess I might have a different perspective. I'm getting the PS5 Pro day one. Um, for a few different reasons. The main reason being is I'm already invested in the PlayStation 5 ecosystem. I have every single accessory. I have the Portal, the PSVR 2. I've had my PS5 since day one. I got it opening day. I waited in line for the pre-order. I waited in line like a total of like 16 hours. It's the only console I've ever gotten on launch. I have nearly 800 physical video games in my game room, and PS4 makes up the majority. I would say I probably have 400 or 500 PS4 games. PS5 games, I'm pushing maybe 200, something like that. So most of my gaming collection will play on my PS5. I literally have run into one PS4 game that won't play on my PS5. So I don't mind buying a better PS5, but the price is steep. But when we go into the price, let's talk about the price. So $700 and it's digital only. I keep seeing that digital only. It is a console that doesn't come with a disk drive, but has an add-on. Yes, it's $80. So, and it doesn't come with a stand. Yes, I think that's tacky. It should come with a stand. That's like phones coming out with no brick. It should have come with a stand. I agree. But $700 is expensive. But when you really break it down, you're buying a gaming PC just with a different operating system that uses a controller. That's what you're buying. Gaming PCs are not cheap. And $700, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of, I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but I just bought Pixel 9 Pro XL 512 gigs. It costs like $1,300. It's nearly double the price of the PS5 Pro. Everybody that's watching this video probably has an iPhone in their pocket. Some of you have Androids if you've got taste, but those phones are about $1,000, $600 to $1,000, and you buy those every 3 years. You know, so I know it's expensive, but I guess I just watched Dreamcast guy's video, and he said he can't stand when people say that it's not for you. It's not for you. Well, buddy, it's not for you. If you can't afford $700, it's not for you. Um, I can't afford a $4,000 gaming PC. That's not for me. But I can afford my primary gaming platform is PlayStation, PS5. That's what I play 90% of my games on. I have lots of consoles, but I play most of my games here. It's my number one hobby. It's I'm like a hardcore gamer. I play a lot of video games. I beat around 20, maybe 25 games a year, all of which are pretty much on my PS5. So, yes, I'm going to get it day one, and I'm going to keep this one as like a backup. But that being said, I do think it's a bad idea for console refreshes and for $700 because once you buy the disc drive, because you're and the stand, you're going to spend $820 probably, after tax and all that. That's expensive, for a console because then you're easing your way into the PC space. Um, but if you can't afford a 700 or a $700 PS5 Pro or an $800 PS5 Pro with the disc drive, get the digital only PS5 if that's what you want to do because it's $399. I don't understand why people have problems with options. You know, I if I could choose, I would just say just don't release the PS5 Pro. I think I saw that it comes with 2 terabytes. So this PS5 right here cost $500. I put a 1 terabyte hard drive in it that cost like $120 when I bought it. So I spent about $700 on that. So, or is that right? 620 plus tax, maybe 650, 675. So it's not that crazy. I know it's expensive and it's more, but if it was $600, you would still have people complaining about it because at this point it's been out for 4 years. They probably should have dropped the price, but the current economy, blah, 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 blah. I guess the reason I'm making this video is because I see all these people, Happy Console Gamer, Dreamcast Guy, 8-Bit Eric, all the people that I watch. I think Metal Jesus even put out a tweet. I've not seen one positive about this. But here's the thing. I made a video 6 months ago, I don't know, that the PS5 is my favorite console of all time. Partly because, and you can go watch the video, but the PS4 was so incredible. I love the PS4. It's my biggest collection. It can play all those games. And I think Sony, don't get me wrong, I think Sony's making some terrible decisions this generation, charging $550 for the PSVR 2, bringing out a ton of those dumb live service games, or working on them at least. I think all that's bad, right? I think a lot of things they're doing right now don't make sense. But you don't have to buy it. Like, if you want to keep your current PS5, do that. If you want to buy the digital PS5, if you want to buy a used digital, spend $250 or $300, whatever, on a digital console. People are just like losing their minds over this price. I guarantee you 90% of the people watching this have a phone, or maybe 80%, whatever, have a phone in their pocket that costs as much as the PS5. So it's just bizarre to me that people are like losing their minds when, if you have a PS5, keep that. Because, you know, really the main reason I'm buying it, and I've talked to my buddy about this, is I'm going to buy a second PS5 for longevity's sake, because I like the idea of a removable disk drive, because that's the part that fails in systems, is movable parts, and the disk drive a lot of times is what goes out. So before the Pro was even announced, I was going to buy a PS5 and a second PS5. I know it sounds crazy, but I have a sealed PS3. So I have two PS3s. I like to have, uh, redundant systems. And I'm fortunate enough to where I can afford a PS5 Pro. If you can't afford it, that's not a big deal. Play the PS4. Heck, they're still coming out with games for the PS4. So it's no like judgment or anything. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. It's no big deal. For the people that can't afford it, it's for them, you know? Um, and they were saying a lot, it's not a huge upgrade. Well, you play a lot of games, PS5 games, especially like exclusive games, that you have that choice, do you want to play in fidelity or performance? And I saw that like 75% of people were playing in performance. Um, so it's kind of cool that you don't have to make that choice anymore. You can, for the games that are chosen, you can play with high fidelity and high frame rate. And speaking of that, I saw another thing. Wario64 on Twitter had all these statistics, like 1 in 10 people have a HDMI 2.1 TV. And if you don't know what that means your TV is capable of 120 frames per second, or hertz, and 4K. So 90% of you can't even use the PS5 Pro. 90% of you are rocking a 4K TV, yes, but they can only do 60 frames a second, so you can't even use it anyway. Like, you can't even fully utilize the system. So there's a lot of different options here, and most people don't even understand probably what I'm talking about when it comes to displays, and it's just people that are losing their minds. Like Dreamcast Guy, go watch his video. He said his buddy picked out his TV. Like, he didn't quite know what to buy, and that's not like no shame on him or whatever. It's confusing. Like, you have to do your research and figure out what display is best. Should I pick a monitor or a TV? But like, more of a good thing isn't bad. Like, the PS5 Pro has an upgraded GPU, 67% more compute units than the PS5, 28% faster memory, which is already incredibly fast. Or yeah, all right, guys, I had to cut, but I'm going to get right back to it. And I may repeat myself because I don't even know what I've said already. I'm just rambling on. But the PS5 Pro, like I said, is much more powerful, right? It has GPU 67% more compute units, 28% faster memory, up to 45% faster rendering. And people are complaining that it's not enough of an upgrade, which, that may be a fair argument. You know, what's enough, but what they're shooting for seems to be enough. They want to do 4K with a higher frame rate, and this will allow you to do that. And it's like, like Dreamcast guy hates when people say it's not for everybody, right? If you can afford it, buy it. If you can't, go buy a PS4. They're still making games for that. Like I said, buy the PS5 digital edition. But it's $700. Destiny FOMO made a tweet saying that the cost of the PS5 Pro is half the price of the graphics card in her gaming PC. So a 4090. I guess it cost about $1,500. I'm not real sure. Not real sure. But when you look at it like that, it's not crazy expensive for what you're getting. You're paying for a gaming PC just with a different operating system, with a controller that you can play on your TV. Some people are going to be stuck in the console market. And like I said, I understand if you want to switch, go to PC because of this. Um, I probably would go to PC. If I could do it all over again, I would probably just go to PC this generation. But I'm already invested. I've got, 500 PS4 games, about 200 PS5 games. So I'm in it. I want a console with it. I actually like the idea, like I said, of the removable drive, because if the disk drive fails, which that's usually what fails in consoles, moving parts, you can replace it. So it's not a terrible idea for me, but I will go to PC after this. This is going to be my last console, the PS5 Pro. I will not get the PS6. I watched a video from Happy Console, or maybe it was no, Pete. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Sorry. But anyway, he said that he fears that this is going in the wrong direction, that the PS6 will be all digital. I've said that before in my videos. I think it will too. So console gaming is not what it used to be. They're doing things a lot different in different ways. I'm like I said, I have mixed feelings on this, but I'm definitely going to get it. And, I don't care if you agree with me or not. As Tom Segura would say, stop being a poor. Just joking. But, it's not for everybody. If you want to buy it, great. If it's your first PS5 console, that's cool, because it'll last you 10 years. Is it really that expensive to spend $700 that'll last you 10 years? Because look at the PS4. They're still making games for it. Guaranteed, the PS5 Pro will last you 10 years. 10 years you'll probably have to upgrade to the PS6. And then who knows what the state of Sony will be, or PlayStation then, because they're making some terrible decisions. I think this will ease or push a lot more people into the PC ecosystem, including me. This will be the last PC, or the last, see, you get them confused. This will be the last console that I buy. So after this, I'll be PC, but I will continue to collect exclusives only for the PS5 and PS4. They're still releasing games, like I said, but after that, I'm done. Let me know what you think in the comments. SirVern out.